Good evening and thanks for joining us. I'm Bruce Frisco. It is Monday, the 22nd day of June, and this is CTV News. Tonight, shrinking dollars. Inflation continues to bump up the cost of living. A pretty cool facility, making a maritime port even more business-friendly. And hanging around, getting into the swing of things with suspension yoga.
Live from our Maritime's News Center, this is CTV News. Here is Bruce Frisco.
Good evening. Money matters are dominating the news and the lives of a great many Canadians again. Stats Canada's May inflation report found the national rate to be the highest level in more than 2 years. It was driven almost entirely by high fuel costs. CTV's Emma Convey has more.
The cost for a liter of gas remains expensive for Maritimers, an over 30% increase in the last year as of May, as the conflict in the Middle East keeps prices high.
It seems that it's just gone up and up, and it doesn't seem to be showing signs of stopping.
The latest inflation figures from Stats Canada found Canada's inflation jumped to 3.2% in May, up from 2.8% in April.
We've seen the dollar really weaken in the last few weeks, and that, of course, makes the price of everything that we bring in from abroad a little more expensive. So that's another concern, I think, for the central bank. Not great news overall here from this report from StatsCan today.
The report highlights Canada's biggest increases. Gasoline up 33.2%, energy up 22.2%, non-durable goods up 7.4%, and food up 4.3%. Not great news, according to Maritimers.
Because I have a kid growing up, here as well. I want her to be able to have a job. I want her to be able to have her own car. I want her to be able to afford rent.
I feel lucky that I have a good job and affordable housing and everything, but it seems that in the last few years that's becoming less and less common for people.
Emma Convey, CTV News, Halifax.
Now to an unsettling trend in New Brunswick. After unprecedented growth, fewer people are moving to the province and more are moving out. CTV's Emma Mandin has more.
New Brunswick's estimated population is over 500 people lower than the same time last year. And while the decrease may seem small, it's raising big concerns about the province's future.
For the tasks where we need humans, that's what we're most concerned about. So that's going to be really challenging.
The latest data shows 3 consecutive quarterly declines in the population estimates, from over 868,600 people in the last quarter of 2025 to less than 866,500 people in the second quarter of this year. But Tolk Lane says it's no surprise.
We have seen this coming from data analysis for many, many years.
And it's not just New Brunswick. The senior researcher for the Atlantic Economic Council says the whole country is experiencing population declines due to federal immigration cuts.
It's not a New Brunswick only example. It's happening across Canada.
He says while that will improve vacancy rates, it will also put pressure on the labor force in the Atlantic region.
It's definitely something we're very concerned about. We have an older population here in Atlantic Canada than the rest of the country.
He expects the population will begin to rise again in a few quarters, but not at the same rate as in previous years. Anna Mandin, CTV News, Fredericton.
The spending watchdog for the region's largest city has referred some spending issues from the mayor's office to the police. The AG says 4 specific transactions in Andy Fillmore's office were examined for compliance at the request of unnamed HRM management. AG Andrew Atherton says 2 invoices for legal services were submitted and paid despite not having been authorized by the municipal solicitor. The report says Fillmore did pay those back once notified to do so. In addition, though, 2 procurements for consulting services for the mayor's office did not follow competitive processes. One was for HR services, ultimately worth about $90,000. The second, $14,000 for speech writing. Although not compliant with policy, the AG noted the services were received. Still, he didn't leave it there, turning the matter over to Halifax Regional Police, who've since passed it on to RCMP. CTV News reached out to Mayor Fillmore's office for a response today. This is the statement we got. The mayor's office fully cooperated with the Auditor General during this audit, and I, the mayor, accept the report's conclusion. These transactions occurred during a period of significant transition for both the mayor's office and senior HRM administration, including the first mayoral change in more than a decade. While the Auditor General did not make any recommendations as a result of the audit, residents reasonably expect all involved bodies follow HRM policies. That's why, as noted in the report, additional staff training has taken place to ensure future compliance.
Get the Maritime's top stories, breaking news alerts, and watch live. Download the CTV News app.
Police in Cape Breton investigating reports of shots fired at a house in Glace Bay. Cape Breton Regional Police say they got a complaint last night about 10 p.m. Nobody was injured. Police do believe this was an isolated incident with no threat to public safety, but they are trying to determine the ownership of a dark-colored four-door Cadillac with wraparound taillights that was seen in the area prior to that incident. One of North America's fastest-growing new ports has a new facility, making it even more attractive for businesses. CTV's Avery McRae has more on a cold storage hub that could become a pretty hot commodity.
The doors are opening for new opportunities at Port St. John.
It really helps us build a sustainable business model in the future.
A year after breaking ground, Americold has opened their new import-export hub on the St. John Harbor. By July, the shelves in this more than 200,000 square foot cold storage facility will be filled. On them will be mostly frozen food products like potatoes, vegetables, and seafood.
It will really be used to both support the export of goods that are manufactured in Canada to, places like Europe and Australia and South America, as well as for the import of product from those same trade lanes.
Americold CEO Rob Chambers says the facility is a first of its kind worldwide to combine the company's cold storage operations with the highly touted container terminal operations of DP World and the connection with big rail lines like CPKC.
It allows for product to be imported and exported directly into Port St. John rather than having to maybe come in to, say, the Port of Philadelphia and then have to go through all the type of cross-border customs-related processes. It's a solution that should be faster, it should be cheaper, it should be greener than anything else that was available previously.
Port St. John says the new facility adds tremendous value to the growing gateway as Canada continues to look for new trading markets outside of the United States.
We really view it as a long-term play and that it can be another tool to attract a container line that doesn't necessarily call on St. John today.
The facility brings with it upwards of 100 new jobs to the waterfront. Next on the port's list is a variety of projects they hope will be made possible through Ottawa's Trade Diversification Corridors Fund. That includes upgrades to the over 5,000 square feet of the port's existing warehouses, as well as a widening and deepening of the channel coming into the harbor to allow for bigger vessels. Avery McRae, CTV News, St. John.
It may be back to the future for a container ship in the port of Halifax right now. In an age of growing fuel costs, the vessel is taking a page from the past, using sails to help it travel the oceans. A similar ship uses 15 to 13 tons of fuel a day. The Neoline Origin only burns through about 1.5 tons with its sails.
Sometimes we're going to be using only the sail, and sometimes we're going to do the navigation on an hybrid mode. We're going to use a little bit of the engine if there's not enough wind to move us sailing forward.
Twice by day, sometimes four times by day, we change the route in order to optimize our course and our speed.
The 136-meter vessel can carry up to 5,000 tons of cargo. It travels between mainland France, Baltimore, St. Pierre, Miquelon, and now Halifax. There are also a dozen cabins on board for people who want to experience the trip. Federal Competition Bureau is continuing its investigation into the use of property controls by Nova Scotia-based Empire Company Limited. Empire is based in Stellarton, the parent company of several grocery chains, including Sobeys, IGA, Foodland, and others. Property controls are restrictions on the use of real estate that limit how a property can be used after it's sold. So you can imagine that can make it difficult for businesses to open new stores. The Bureau's investigation into Sobeys and Loblaws locations in Halifax began in 2024, and it announced today has obtained court orders seeking information about the scope of Empire's practices across the country. Okay, still to come tonight, Kaylin's full forecast, and we'll share an important reminder on this first full day of summer. Coming up next, though, the sweetest of seasons.
It's a little bit late, but I'm still optimistic that the season's going to be okay.
Strawberry time is here again, so how are this year's berries looking? We'll find out when we get back.
Mornings with Aaron and Peter. Join us all this week for the $1,000 Minute with Atlantic Superstore.
Celebrating 40 years and giving you $200 just for playing this week.
You know, it's summer when the local strawberries are out, the brief period of time when we're reminded what they're actually supposed to taste like. CTV's Vanessa Wright has more on how this year's crop is shaping up.
It's the first week of summer, which means fresh fruits are ripening. In Great Village, Nova Scotia, one of the province's largest strawberry farms has gotten off to a slow start.
So far the season's about 7 days late. It's a little bit late, but I'm still optimistic that the season's going to be okay.
Lucky for them, Mother Nature has been cooperating.
So with the rainfall that we've had so far, it hasn't been too much, to be honest with you. It's been, in my opinion, just the right amount. The
ideal combination to get these sweet strawberries that are almost always in popular demand this time of year.
Well, everybody's always excited when the strawberry harvest starts. There's always a big demand.
Masstown Market gets all its berries from Millen Farms, a decades-long commitment to supporting local.
Strawberries are probably the #1 produce item between, as far as the dollar value and the number of units you sell between now and September, probably, yeah.
Back at Millen Farms, peak strawberry season starts on the 1st of July. If all goes well, they'll be harvesting until October.
It's hard to say what will happen later in the summer months, but I think it'll be okay. Everybody's pretty interested in Canadian products and supporting their own country, so hopefully we can keep up that momentum.
Vanessa Wright, CTV News, Great Village, Nova Scotia.
Thank you, Vanessa. Time for a quick little break, but when we return, your complete maritime weather forecast. Isn't that a gorgeous sunset? Albro Lake, Dartmouth, Goslings. Back with Kaylin after this. Okay, Monday night, 22nd day of June. I guess this would be like the second longest day of the year, right?
That's right.
Yeah.
And now, if you go by the summer solstice, which happened this past weekend, early Sunday morning, we're now into the first couple days of summer. And that means we've got our first rainy weather system of the summer season on its way in. It's a low pressure system. It's going to be making its way out of the eastern United States. It's going to be heading up towards Cape Cod area for tomorrow. And then after Cape Cod, moves past the Atlantic coastline of Nova Scotia and towards eastern areas of Newfoundland. Now, even before the center of the low moves past the Maritimes, there's going to be some rain that's going to be moving into the area. So we'll take a look at our forecast timeline. And first of all, as we make our way through tonight, it's generally increasing cloudiness around much of the Maritime, some fog patches, and the start of some light rain in the southwest of Nova Scotia. Then moving through Tuesday morning, we've got rain, drizzle, and fog developing across a good portion of the Maritimes. Much of New Brunswick, much of the west of Nova Scotia. By Tuesday afternoon, some of that rain will be into Prince Edward Island, eastern areas of Nova Scotia. Scotia, and it's going to be some further periods of rain, drizzle, and fog for much of the Maritimes Tuesday evening and Tuesday night, though with the rain clearing western areas of New Brunswick at that time, replaced by some fog patches and maybe a little bit of patchy drizzle. Heading into early Wednesday morning, the rain continues to clear off towards the northeast, but in behind it during the day on Wednesday for the Maritimes, there'll be some scattered showers. Now, rainfall amounts to this weather system, you know, for a good portion of the region, it looks like a pretty good soaking. Some rainfall amounts between around 15 and 40 millimeters. Nova Scotia, Prince Edward Island, parts of the south of New Brunswick. The rain does look like it is going to be lighter from this weather system for northern areas of New Brunswick. Edmundston, Woodstock, Campbellton, Dalhousie, Bathurst, Miramichi all may finish with some rainfall totals between around 5 and 15 millimeters. Winds with this weather system don't look like they're going to be a big issue for most of the Maritimes during the day for tomorrow. Out of the south and southeast, sustained 10 to 20 kilometers per hour, some gusts between 20 and 40. They do pick up a little bit as we move through Tuesday night and early Wednesday morning. It may include a brief period of some peak wind gusts in northern Inverness County between 70 and 90 kilometers per hour. Now, most low temperatures for the Maritimes tonight will be falling into a range around 10 to 14 degrees, a little bit cooler in Cape Breton with some lows between 8 and 12. And here's a look at your highs for tomorrow. Down a little bit because of the cloud cover and the wet weather moving through. It'll be between 18 and 20 degrees for communities in the north of New Brunswick. Fredericton tomorrow with a high temperature closer to 17, 16 for St. John, and then 18 degrees for Moncton. And then for Prince Edward Island on Tuesday, most of the high temperatures between 16 and 20 degrees. The rain expected to start in the afternoon. There'll be a chance of a shower in the morning, but the rain starting in the afternoon. And for eastern areas of Nova Scotia, including Cape Breton, the North Shore and Eastern Shore, high temperatures between 16 and 20 degrees. Rain developing afternoon into evening. Northern and central areas of Nova Scotia for tomorrow, periods of rain in the forecast. High temperatures between 16 and 20 degrees. And in the southwest of Nova Scotia, most of the high temperatures between around 16 and 19. And again, periods of rain. Taking a look at the extended forecast for New Brunswick. So chance of showers in behind that system on Wednesday. And then Thursday's a mix of sun and cloud. There'll be a chance of showers on Friday and Saturday, and then a mix of sun and cloud Sunday to Monday. And looks like temperatures will be warming up at that point in time. Some highs headed up towards mid to high 20s. For Nova Scotia in the forecast, some scattered showers on Wednesday. Thursday, a mix of sun and cloud. A chance of showers Friday and Saturday, and then a mix of sun and cloud at the end of the weekend and the start of next week. And for Prince Edward Island in the forecast, coming up for Wednesday, a few lingering showers. A mix of sun and cloud follows for Thursday. That's looking like a nice day. High temperatures in the low 20s. There'll be a chance of showers after that on Friday and Saturday, and then a mix of sun and cloud follows for Sunday and Monday. Bruce.
All right, thank you, sir. Wake up weather still to come. In the meantime, we'll just take a quick little break here. Hope to see you on the other side.
The #1 morning show in Halifax. Turk, Megan, and Amateur Alex. And home to the biggest artists. Halifax's #1 hit music station. 101.3 Virgin Radio.
Skin cancer is the most common cancer in Canada. In fact, according to the Canadian Skin Cancer Foundation, there are more new cases of skin cancer every year than breast, prostate, lung, and colon cancers combined. So on this first full day of summer, CTV's Derek Haggett gives us an important reminder.
It's splash pad and pool season once again, and parents are coming prepared.
Absolutely. It's always a yes for us for sunscreen, certainly with the UV that can be high. So.
We put sunscreen on the kids when the sun is out, especially in the summertime. So we have stuff on her face, and usually it's SPF 50.
Usually sunscreen. She has her sunglasses and a nice hat because we spend a lot of time at the beach and at water parks.
I believe that I need to take care of my skin for as long as I possibly can. I like the heat, so I'm fairly confident that I could stay in the heat a long time, but I would reapply the lotion for sure.
Some staggering statistics. The Canadian Medical Association Journal predicts over 11,000 Canadians will be diagnosed with melanoma this year.
You know, we know that cigarettes cause cancer. They're bad. We don't smoke them. We tell our children not to smoke them. And yet tanning causes more cases of cancer every year than smoking.
Canadians are spending more and more time in the sun, and skin cancer rates are rising every year.
30 people are diagnosed with melanoma in Canada every single day, and 3 people die. Like you said, the majority are caused by UV rays from the sun and can be prevented if we just practice better sun safety.
The Save Your Skin Foundation has more than 100 sunscreen dispensers across Canada, including here in the Maritimes.
You really should have your sunscreen year-round. You should be applying it in the morning. For women, you should be applying it under your makeup. You should have it in your car, in your purse, but especially in the summer. For young people, I'll say that, the tan lines and tanning for some reason has come back as a trend. And people think of the tan as beautiful. They don't understand necessarily that it causes cancer.
Derek Haggett, CTV News, Moncton.
Thank you, Derek. Time for one final break tonight. Coming up, getting into the swing of things with suspension yoga. First, though, it's your wake-up weather. Here's a live look at Lunenburg in this Monday night. Currently very comfortable 13 degrees. Kaylin Mitchell's wake-up weather is next. It is Tuesday morning, 23rd day of June. Now, I guess we're heading into the last week of June.
Yes.
How's the Tuesday wake-up looking?
Well, it's going to be a little bit of a wet morning for parts of the Maritimes. There's going to be some rain that's developing across the region from the west to east. It begins in the morning hours, so expect there to be some soggy morning commutes, especially for the province of New Brunswick and the western half of Nova Scotia. In the afternoon around the Maritimes, it's rain, drizzle, and fog, with the precipitation expected to be lightest in northern areas of New Brunswick, and maybe the rain a little bit steadier around the south of that province as well as in Nova Scotia. Bruce.
Need the umbrella. Got it. Okay, Halifax Yoga would like you to hang around, literally. As CTV's Brianne Foley shows us tonight, suspension yoga is a new way for participants to strike a pose.
Halifax Yoga Studio is cultivating the next generation of instructors through its teaching program.
People want to teach. They come for classes and they have such an amazing time and experience a lot of personal transformation and growth, and they want to give that back.
We want them to be capable of leading all these practices as well in their classes, to incorporate all these traditional practices during a regular 60-minute class.
And teach new ways to engage.
We do suspension yoga with the suspension slings. So it's a very strong class. It's a challenging class.
Being upside down, if you've never been upside down for the first time, it's a really good feeling. Your spine lengthens out, your body, like there's just that gravity takes over, and it feels really good. It's pretty low to the ground. There's a mat underneath. So it's more accessible than people realize, and a lot of fun.
It may take a moment to get into the swing of things, but it's important to go with the flow.
Usually after they try it, they are pretty impressed with their strength that they didn't know that they had, or like when you come into a suspension, if you've never been up or if you've never flown before, you're probably completely out of your comfort zone. You're doing things that your body is not used to. So they leave feeling very, very gratified.
And it's more than a workout.
It is a practice that is well-rounded in many ways, and if we just focus on just the superficial part, we're missing on all of the benefits.
Whatever your level, there's a pose for everyone.
When I was a competitive gymnast, the world was a different place, so there was a lot of focus on female bodies and how we show up. But in a yoga space, you walk in and you see all different ages, all different body types, male, female, and you're showing up in a safe, professional place.
Brianne Foley, CTV News, Halifax.
Thank you, Brianne. That is your late news for tonight. If you joined us a little bit later, you'd like another look at anything you've seen tonight, ctvnewsatlantic.ca. It is always your home for news, after all. I'm Bruce Frisco. Thank you for staying up late with us tonight. Have a good evening. I hope to see you again tomorrow.